This is Roadshow News Recap. Our top story this week comes courtesy of Genesis, the luxury car brand, sort of teased 8 new models this week, and it announced that it plans on going all electric by the year 2025. Beyond that, Hyundai unveiled a Casper. It's their new teeny tiny SUV. This thing is cuter than a basket of puppies. You have got to see it. We'll talk all about that later and have a little bit of bad news that it's probably not coming to the U.S. Beyond that, you've got to get ready for Radwood because Ford is making a splash with the Ranger, literally. The brand is bringing back the Splash package from the 1990s, but with a 21st century twist. There's a new Subaru Forester Wilderness Edition that was unveiled this week. It's got more rugged looks, of course, and a slight ride height increase to make it a little bit better off-road. We will talk about that. And then, of course, we'll wrap things up with another Tesla delay. Yeah, the Roadster's been pushed back to probably about 2023 now, but the brand may actually get a pass this time. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to the show. And we have...
Yeah, welcome everybody to the show. Happy Friday. So glad you're watching with us. And if you're not watching with us, hopefully you're enjoying the show over the weekend. And everyone, like, subscribe, ring the bell, because the more you do that, the less I have to tell you to do it. So please do it and help us out. Our bosses tell us to tell you that, and we'd love to stop telling you that. But anyway. This week was full of news. Apologies, it looks like we may have lost Craig on a connection issue that he's been trying to sort out for a little while now. But you're stuck with me for now, and I'm sorry about that because I wouldn't want to look at my face either. But we're going to dive into the top story of the week, which is Genesis going all electric. The brand plans to go totally electric by 2025, which... that's an ambitious goal, to say the least. But you know what? Genesis is following a pattern of so many other brands that are really kicking into high gear when it comes to electrifying their portfolios. Volvo, Jaguar, Cadillac. You know, this is a thing a lot of luxury brands are starting to do. In terms of what we're going to see first, that would be the GV60 SUV that was revealed a couple weeks ago. Aside from that, Genesis kind of dumped a whole bunch of product right onto us in the form of a bunch of teasers. That includes what appears to include a production version of the new Genesis X Coupe. That was a concept car they showed a little while ago. And that's exciting because that was a pretty great looking car. So I'm excited to see that's going to be coming to production. Hopefully you guys are too, because the world could use some cooler coupes, in my opinion. But there you see it there on screen now. And it looks like Genesis is doing this thing where one of the highlights with the lights is going to be it kind of stretching from the headlights to the side panels, which... I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of that or not. This would be the part where I would ask Craig if he's interested in that design element, but he's not here yet. And I'm just cracking a joke at the situation is all. But I don't know if I'm a big fan of that personally. It's I don't know, kind of. I feel like if there's a surface area, the lines themselves should draw your eye around, where it's drawing your eye there. It's just kind of in your face. So that's just me. But anyway, the X still looks good overall. And there's going to be way more than the X. And well, we don't know if it's going to be called the X. It was just called the X in concept form. The GV60 is the other one that we've seen totally. That is going to be Genesis's first electric vehicle. And what are we looking at here? 8 SUVs in the lineup, and they want to sell 400,000 units annually by 2030. So Genesis and these electric plans. Wow, hey, here he is. Craig Cole's back with us, everybody.
Yes. Talk about the internet cutting out at the worst possible time. I'm sure that was right in the middle of the intro.
No, that's okay. You were just saying hi to me and I took it from there. So welcome back. We were just
Oh,
talking
good.
about the GV60, the X Coupe we talked a little bit about. And something I was posing to you while not here is, do you like those LED light lines that are running along the fenders, like on the X Coupe concept? I think it's a little in your face personally.
I do like it because it's distinctive, but it's not ridiculous, right? It's unmistakable. You know what the car is. You know what the vehicle is that has those stripes. Um, but it's not some ridiculous like spindle grill, right? Like you'd see on a Lexus or something. So I think
Yeah.
it might get to be if they start running it down the doors and onto the rear fenders, then it might be a bit much. But the way they've done it
Yeah.
so far, I don't mind.
Yeah, I don't know, just something about it. I think the car looks gorgeous overall. I just think it's like trying too hard. Like if it stopped at the fascia before the wheel well, cool. But then like just this little bit right there, I don't know. It's not doing it for me personally. But
Hmm.
I was saying while you were gone, I still like the car overall. I think it's a very handsome looking car. Um, we've mentioned before, like luxury cars kind of tend to strive for this like not too aggressive but not boring, and I think this concept does it well. um
Hmm.
and we don't know what else is coming aside from the GV60, which I also mentioned a little bit earlier. So we'll see if Genesis goes even more expressive or if it keeps things kind of tame. But it's interesting to see how they're playing with their design language right now when it comes to EVs, like this
Hmm.
GV60, Craig.
I am not a fan of the GV60. I've really liked what Genesis has done up until now, but this GV60, the front end it just looks, it's not proportionate kind of to the body. And then you follow that trim that runs sort of along the roof rail, and it's got this sort of V in it that's just seemingly
Mhm.
unnecessary unless there's a reason for it. I don't understand, but it just doesn't do it for me. I think this is a misstep for the brand.
Yeah, it's really, for me, it's really hard to see the GV70, which I think is just a knockout looking
Yeah.
SUV, and then you see the GV60. And I'm just kind of like, huh? Like it feels. Here's the thing for me is Genesis, I think, has done an amazing job making themselves feel very separate from Hyundai. This car feels like a Hyundai to me. Like
Yeah, that's a very good point.
it feels very much so less premium than what you see otherwise at a Hyundai dealership. I don't know. I just get like, this looks like a fancy Kona EV. And
Yeah, right?
I am never trying to knock a car before we can get our hands on it, drive it, explore it a little bit more, so that's not the final verdict from me at all. And I'm not trying to jump the gun, but from what we've seen and how it presents itself, it's like too quirky for me. I feel like I don't know. It's like you said, I think it's a bit of a misstep.
I would completely agree. But what Genesis wants 8 different SUVs in its lineup in the future?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. We were
that's
just, yeah.
how?
It's a, there's an SUV for everybody, as I
That's
think
I guess
everyone
so,
likes
and
to
nothing
say.
else.
At Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hopefully that doesn't mean the G70 and G80 and the G90 go away, because I think those are great cars. And I think they're great looking cars too. I mean, I think they will stick around if they have a business case for the X Coupe. Certainly, there's a business case for some sedans sticking around as well.
Mhm. I
Yes,
agree.
but
But yeah,
yes,
8
yeah,
SUVs like you've
uh,
got the GV60 will be an SUV. There's the 70, the 90, right? No,
yeah.
80, sorry.
No, 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 no. It only goes up to 80 right now. Don't get ahead of yourself.
Yeah.
We don't
I'm
need any more
see,
SUVs,
I'm
Craig.
talking about like an Escalade competitor.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
that still
yeah,
only
yeah. There
gets you
you
to
go.
4. Like, that's what? You
I,
double that
I,
many
I,
then? Like,
I,
what? Is it a commercial
I
van they're
am.
gonna build? Like, call it an SUV? I
Yeah,
have no idea.
yeah. What is that cool Hyundai van that they make? The Staria that we were like
Yeah,
everyone was fawning over for a while. Make a Genesis version of that. That'd be cool.
why not?
I think it'd be
Why
cool.
not? Or
Why?
like you could do like a commercial van, but like, you know how you get a Mercedes Sprinter and then you have it upfitted with like the first class seats and like the
Mhm.
I want to say stripper pole, but not, but you get like a cooler and stuff in there and it's like a luxury vehicle, big screen TVs, whatever. Maybe they'll sell something like that, but
Yeah.
probably not.
I mean, there's probably not. I mean, my money would be on no, but hey, I guess the future is wide open if you got 8 SUVs coming. I mean, you're going to have to differentiate them a little bit, you'd think. And maybe
Hmm.
that's what they're starting to do with the GV60 because it certainly doesn't look like any other Genesis that we've seen so far. So,
Yeah. Yep.
that's now nonetheless, that was an exciting big piece of news that dropped this week, Craig. Yeah, I just gonna have to wait and see what Genesis does with all of these electric SUVs and if they find a place for them in their lineup.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they want to sell what, 400,000 vehicles annually by the year 2030. I don't know off the
Hmm.
top of my head what they're selling right now, but I can tell you it's a lot less than that.
Yeah, no.
So that might be
Yeah,
informing their decision to have 8 different SUVs in the lineup.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. But staying on this Hyundai track, moving away from Genesis to Hyundai, is like Craig mentioned at the start, this little Hyundai Casper, which our colleague Daniel Golson called the baby Yoda of SUVs, I think is what he said. And like that
mhm.
sounds really weird to say, but I guess it's true. I mean, look at that color even. It looks like a Yoda skin color. But
Yeah.
this little thing's cool, Craig. I don't know what you think about it.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. I mean, it's tiny. The thing is based off the Hyundai i10 hatchback, and it's only about 145 inches long in Freedom units, which makes it about 18 inches less than a Hyundai Venue crossover, which is already pretty small. So this is probably
Hmm.
treading on almost like Japanese K car territory. It might be a little
Yeah.
bigger than that, but it's properly tiny. And like you said, the styling is super cute. I don't necessarily see a Baby Yoda resemblance, and I know based on his Instagram, Daniel had just started watching The Mandalorian, so that might have been at top of mind when he was writing this story. But no, I can get where
Uh,
he's coming from totally. But yeah, I don't think this is an appropriate vehicle for North America or the US, but it looks like a
mhm.
delightful little product to be certain.
Yeah, I always say if designers go for this cute look, there's a line. You know, like there's like you either nail it or it looks goofy. And goofy I would say would be like maybe trending towards like the Honda E concept. Like that was a little
Mhm.
too cutesy. And then like then there's this where it looks like uh I don't know what the right word is. I'm trying to think of like a maybe like a bold descriptor, but it's still cute. Like it's very approachable, but
Mhm.
it looks like suave still. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's definitely not the right
Does it
word, but
does it remind you of
what's
like a
that?
Fiat Panda or something? A little bit?
Yes, yes, it does. It really does. Yeah, it looks like something that would have been very popular. Like I don't know now. What year are we in? 2021 now. It feels like a endless blur. But yeah, like
Yep.
15 years ago, I feel like this. It has like a very throwbackish shape to like the Audis, and by that I mean the 2000s, not Audi.
The ought ease,
Yeah,
not the
the
Audis. That's
Autis.
clever.
Yes, yes, yes.
But,
But
what is
in
Hyundai
term,
offering? 2 different 3-cylinder engines with a fire-breathing
Mhm.
1-liter displacement. There's a naturally
Wow.
aspirated unit with 73 horsepower or a turbo with 97, which
You
is
know what
fine.
though?
There's nothing
I
wrong with
I
that.
am a firm believer in slow car fast. I bet if you were like ringing this thing out, it would just be hilarious. Like that's my
Yep.
take on that. I've driven some
Yep.
slow cars in my life, and sometimes they're the most fun to just like mash the throttle and go or try to go.
Yeah. But the biggest
Like
head scratcher,
seriously,
like a 1-liter 3-cylinder, seems perfectly appropriate for something this size. The big head scratcher for me, it's got a 4-speed automatic.
yeah.
This isn't 1998. Like, put a 6-speed
Yeah.
in it or something.
Yeah,
I don't
it is.
understand why it has a 4-speed automatic.
Well, I guess that rolls into part of the conversation about the fact that this car isn't just meant for South Korea, where, again, this is not coming to North America, and highly unlikely it would even be under consideration, but also India. And, the Indian car market is still very much so developing, and cars are very different even to, Chinese vehicles in that kind of respect these days, where you're definitely trying to create something very, very affordable. And as much as people really love how this looks, they'd probably be very unhappy with how it drives and the lack of amenities that we're used to these days in new cars.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't imagine it. We haven't seen an interior photo that I'm aware of, but I don't imagine it has power windows or a power moonroof or massaging seats or a digital gauge cluster or, the latest
No.
infotainment screen that takes up half the dashboard. So,
but in a ways, there's something refreshing about that.
yes, 100%.
Yeah. Yes. I totally agree. But yeah, it's a bummer that we really love how this car looks, but at the end of the day, it probably would sell super poorly here in the US. If you've ever seen a Venue that's already a super, super tiny little car, off ramp, there's someone getting their driveway report in my neighborhood, and they have a Hyundai Venue, and they've parked their Venue like parallel with like the apron of the driveway, and it fits there perfectly. Like, that's how tiny it is. That car, if no one's ever seen one in the wild. But yeah, anyway, it'd probably sell very poorly here, and it's not surprising it's not coming here. And
but maybe they're going to offer it as a Genesis.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, there's 8 SUVs coming, and I bet you this will be marketed as an SUV, somewhere. Craig.
Yeah, right. But anyway, a lot to like about the Hyundai Casper SUV. And on the subject of liking things, why don't you like this video and subscribe to the Roadshow News YouTube channel? That way you never miss any of our great videos, whether it's the live show we host every Friday, which hopefully you're watching right now, or any number of the news hits that Sean has been putting out. Great work on those, Sean and Evan, by the way. A lot of great content.
Thank you. We appreciate it, and we hope you guys like them. And if you haven't seen them, you should check them out, because we try and get them out around the same time we have something to talk about. And hopefully you enjoy them and strike up some conversation in the comment section down there. We try and read them and engage and all that good stuff. So
it's like a digital water cooler. Go get a cup of refreshment and just chat with your coworkers, I guess.
Yes. Yep.
Or not.
Something like that.
You're going to anyway.
Yes.
But very important icon is coming back. The Ford Ranger Splash. If you remember back to the 1990s, Ford used to offer sort of this appearance package on the compact truck, which had these big, just how would you describe them? What's that design, that aesthetic from the 90s and 80s called, Sean? There's a name for it. I can't remember.
I don't know what that word is.
That these big splashy graphics, bright colors, and they're bringing that back for 2021. So they're going to have 2 different trims of Splash. There's Splash and then Splash Limited Edition. What you're seeing here is the Splash version. It comes with orange paint, bright black stripes, and it rolls on 18-inch wheels. Plus, it's got some accents in the grille and whatnot to give it, just to spruce things up a little bit. This is basically an appearance package, so don't expect it to drastically change anything. But it's a hilarious little callback to the 90s. What do you think, Sean?
Mm-hmm. I think it's really cool. I think the coolest thing about the original Splash was like the body color grille, which was not incredibly common back then. I wish they would have done that for this package, but those nostrils you're seeing there in body color are supposed to recall that body color grille from the original truck. My only thing with this truck is it's so bright and vibrant on the outside, and then you see the inside and it's like, oh, that's just
like
your
an airplane
average
restroom. Just sad.
Yeah, it's your average Ranger interior, that's for sure, with just some orange contrast stitching. I was hoping they would have done a little bit more for the interior, but like you said, there's going to be a another, not just one, but additional versions of the Splash and limited edition packages. So hopefully they brighten things up with those.
Yeah. So there's the Splash, which you're seeing right now, but then there's also the limited edition Splash, which should be offered as a limited production model with exclusive one-off colors and then some unique interior trim and things along that line. I don't believe Ford has shown any photos of the Splash limited edition just yet, but if you look at the standard Splash, you probably get a pretty good idea of what the limited models will be like, but just imagine a different color.
Yeah, they're going to be, I believe Ford said multiple, every few months they're going to drop a new Splash. So like the first one's going to be, I think, like a snow edition, Splash Snow, and then I don't know, Splash Sunshine, Splash Rain Puddle. I don't know. They could go crazy with their names, but yeah, there's going to be a bunch of these trucks apparently.
Interesting. Trying to jazz up a not terribly exciting product, but the Splash package should be available on Ranger XLT and Lariat models, and it's going to cost you about $1,500 to get that. Look for Ranger Splash trucks at dealerships a little bit later this year.
Well, if you want one, go and get them, because they,
if
like
you can buy them,
Splash,
if they're building them, if they have chips.
Yeah,
it's a problem.
Yeah, it's a big problem. Yeah, there's not enough chips. Automakers need the chips, and like a bag of half-filled Lay's potato chips, there aren't enough. Anyway, we are going to
start frying some up ourselves, like
yeah, or something like that. I don't really like potato chips
from Canada. What?
Yeah, I don't really like, I'm not a big potato chip person. Yeah, you know what?
Okay, what do you eat then, Sean? What do you eat?
I eat a lot of things. I
do you not like
maybe
ice
I'm a little
cream?
too picky. No, I love ice cream. Ice cream's excellent. Always down for an ice cream.
Do you eat pizza?
Yeah, I like pizza. Haven't had pizza in a really long time just because of trying to be more diet conscious, but pizza's good. Yeah, pizza's awesome.
Chinese food.
Oh yeah, 100%. No raw fish.
Keep quizzing you. Well, no raw fish. You don't have to have sushi.
Yes, I like veggie sushi. That's very good stuff there.
That's true. What about soup? Are you a soup fan?
Soup is good. Soup is good. If you're just joining us, welcome to Roadshow Soup Recap.
There you go.
We're talking
Food
about
recap.
what I eat and don't eat. No.
But eggs and peanut butter are a big no-no for Sean. I understand.
No. Nope. Yeah, no. Can't do them. No way. No way, no how. Not at all.
Not even like a peanut butter cookie?
No. You know what? And this is the last I'll say on this, and we'll move on to the Subaru Forester.
It's getting uncomfortable. I'm sorry.
No. The worst feeling is biting into a cookie that you think is a sugar cookie, and it's a peanut butter cookie instead. When you're not prepared for that, your taste buds just flip the F out, and it's terrible. Anyway.
I can think of things that are a lot worse than that, actually. But I won't drag this conversation out any longer. Please continue with the Subaru Forester Wilderness.
Yes, the Subaru Forester Wilderness, moving right along. Slightly more rugged looks. This follows the Outback Wilderness, which I think looks cooler than this, personally. But anyway, the Forester is a big-time popular vehicle with Subaru buyers, so naturally, the Wilderness trimmings special edition arrived at this little SUV. We're looking at a 5-inch lift for a total of 9.2 inches of ground clearance. That's
half an inch.
Basically all you're getting. Yes, and a half inch. I'm sorry if I misspoke. Yeah, that's about it for in terms of actual rugged performance. Otherwise, it's more about the aesthetics. A lot more of the black plastic cladding, which I was reading just some comments in other places, people talking about how this plastic cladding look is really starting to take over. And someone made a really good point that in like 10 years, when these cars sit out in the sun all the time, these cars might look really, really terrible because that is going to fade real bad. I hadn't really thought about that. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you please go.
I was just gonna say you're like a prosumer, semi-professional car detailer, right? How much of a pain in the
Yeah.
backside is it when wax gets on this black plastic trim? Like, how do you even remove it? It just gets
Oh,
these white
yeah.
streaks everywhere.
Yeah, that sucks. You better get it off really quickly. If you do happen to bop it with some product. So yeah. And
I mean, how do
also,
you
even though they
not
make
unless
the,
you tape everything off?
you know what? I've done it, and that really sucks. It's a real pain to when you're working around black plastic cladding, because it dries and it looks like chalk, and then you got to work a little harder to get it off. Not the end of the world, but certainly a nuisance in my opinion. And trim restore exists, but also that's just something else that you got to make sure you're taking care of. I guess it's no different than if you have like a soft top convertible. You have to take care of those differently as well. But and I don't think Subaru Forester owners will be too concerned with keeping up with the plastic trim cladding after they turn their lease in after 36 months or something like that.
Definitely
But
not.
aside from the black plastic, you could tell I'm just chock full of off ramps today, everybody. Aside from all of that stuff, you're looking at black 17-inch wheels to differentiate this little SUV from comparable Forester models. It also gets some Yokohama Geolandar all-terrain tires. So when you take it camping, it'll do a little bit better when you're trying to rock it around the campsite and stuff like that. It's certainly not going to be a F1 Raptor, F-150 Raptor kind of off-road prowess, but nevertheless, that's nice to get some all-terrain tires on there. And it gets a retuned X mode, which is Subaru's systems that you can flip through for different driving modes. And the all-wheel drive system is a little bit more responsive in that respect. Still, there's a 2.5 liter Boxer 4 engine, 182 horsepower, 176 pound-feet of torque. I know, thrilling stuff.
Sorry, I dozed off for a second.
You yawned too soon because it still gets the CVT. The CVT is still there.
Does. Because we can't have
But
nice things anymore. We're not allowed.
no. I've driven a lot of Subarus with the CVT, and like they're so tuned to feel like really snappy down low, and
Yes.
they also get like kind of herky jerky when you take off from a stoplight.
Yes.
That's something I've found with a lot of newer Subaru CVTs that I'm
I
surprised
just
they haven't tried
reviewed-
to massage out.
Yeah, I just reviewed an Ascent a few weeks ago, and it's a good 3-row SUV. But exactly to your point, Sean, tons of like low speed acceleration. It just scoots off the line. It's almost jumpy.
Mm-hmm.
But then
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it will clunk like it's shifting, which is so
Yep.
weird because it doesn't have gears or ratios. Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
Yeah,
the all-wheel
it's
drive
so-
system or the torque converter locking up or something, but it's just weird.
It's really weird because I spent a lot of time with our past long-term Outback. It lived here for a while, and I drove it a lot because I was just kind of using it as a personal vehicle at that time while it was here with me. And yeah, it was always a clunky little thing down low that I didn't care for, even though I loved the Outback overall and the package. I did enjoy having that car here, but yeah, something weird that I'm surprised that hasn't been ironed out yet. But speaking of transmission things, there's also a 4.11 to 1 final drive ratio. So it should scoot around even better in that respect. And additional towing capability with 3,000 pound rated for 3,000 pounds, says Subaru. Geyser blue paint, which I think looks awesome. And some copper accents. StarTex water repellent seating surfaces are shot inside as well. Craig?
Yeah. So we should have a chat, pardon me, a poll in the chat on YouTube. So give that a vote if you're feeling up to it. We're asking, which is better, poke? No, it's poke, right? And sushi. Which do you prefer? Since I've never had poke, I'm going to vote for sushi. So at least I'm vaguely familiar with that.
Yeah, I've never had it either. I don't even know how you pronounce it either. So I'm not even laughing at you. I'm laughing because neither of us know how to say that word correctly. Yeah, everyone's always laughing with you, Craig. That's all.
That's true, right?
Anyway, wrapping up the Subaru news, it priced around $34,000 and it arrives this October. So if you want one, that's when you'll start to find them. Though, actually, Subaru is shutting down its production in Japan entirely for 4 days in September. So who knows if this might be a little bit harder to find at first, Craig.
I don't know. But what's not hard to find is that unmistakable geyser blue paint. Pretty attractive color, I must say, but I am a sucker
like it.
for blue. So you also get some anodized copper accents, which is an interesting thing because you see a lot of copper accents kind of on Genesis vehicles, little subtle, little treats they put in there for you to see. But yeah, priced at about 34 grand, arrives in October, assuming it gets built. But we'll see. Because folks don't have chips, which is affecting a bunch of folks in the auto industry, in a bunch of other industries as well. And it's even affecting Tesla because what a surprise. Mr. Muskie tweeted this week that the Roadster model is delayed. It will not ship until probably 2023. So there you go. It should ship in 2023. So there's even the specter of doubt that it won't come out then. So... it's unfortunate.
If you guys are subscribed to the channel, which we hope you are, I talked about this, I believe it was yesterday, 2 days ago now. We did a short video on it the day Musk tweeted about this. And yeah, the big caveat here is like, he says, if 2022 isn't full of mega drama, I mean, define that as what you will. So yeah, like if they have trouble building the Cybertruck in 2022, it's that vehicle's delayed to late 2022, we learned. Does the Roadster get pushed to 2024? I mean, like this is starting to become a I don't know. I know Tesla I mean, I know Tesla owners, they have a lot of patience, and they're willing to wait for these vehicles because they're so devout to the brand. And I mean, good for them. If you like Tesla vehicles and you want to wait for them, no one's stopping you. But I think at that point, if you continue to push this car out, it's just kind of insulting to anyone who may still have a $50,000 deposit for one of these things, in my opinion.
Yeah. But of all the automakers out there, I think Tesla is the one that can get away with the most any criticism of the brand, really, no matter how well reasoned it is or relevant. Like the Tesla fans come out in droves and just defend the company. It's unfortunate because reasonable critique is not bashing a brand or a person. You have to be objective and step back and look at it, and people just can't do that because they think Tesla's changing the world. And in some ways, it certainly has, but they shouldn't be treated any differently than Ram or Porsche.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what we're supposed to do in our positions is approach everything objectively. Obviously, we have our own opinions about a subject, a car, a brand, whatever it may be. And in my personal opinion, I think if it's delayed further, I think that's a really bad look for Tesla. But in the grand scheme of things, like you said, I don't think anyone will actually care, save for maybe a small handful of people who may finally get turned off by the fact that their car isn't being built, anytime soon. Because like the Roadster wasn't supposed to come this year. It was supposed to be coming next year. In 2020, Musk said 2022 is the date. And so we're in 2021 and he says 2023 is the date. So I don't know if it's something as simple as like they're focused on getting Cybertruck and the Semi done, and those are taking a lot longer than they thought they would, that you're putting maybe a niche sports car on the back burner, which, okay, that makes sense. But we saw this car in 2017. Like, that's a long time ago now.
Yeah. So, but in this instance, it may not actually be Tesla's fault because, as we've mentioned in this show, the chip shortage is affecting a lot of stuff. So that could be really putting the brakes on the Roadster that they're working on. And of course, the Cybertruck and the Semi as well. We don't know what the status of those is really, but they should be delayed. just like the Roadster here, which is unfortunate. Just looking at the chat, Derek says one of the problems with those that don't live with a Tesla is that it's hard to understand how truly different their cars are than others out there, especially when it comes to driving with autopilot and their other advanced driver aids. So are they really that different? I don't know. I beg the question.
Well, I was going to save this as a teaser for our, quick segment before we're wrapping up, but Derek and anyone else who's watching, us here at Roadshow as an entity, we leased a Tesla Model Y, which we will have for 2 years, and we will be passing that around the entire staff. So everybody is going to get the Tesla experience, whether they like it or not.
For better or worse.
Yeah. So we have a Model Y long range that our editor-in-chief initially took delivery of in New York, and then it'll slowly make its way across the U.S. to the West Coast. Our team is spread out across the U.S. So we're all going to have a chance to spend quite some time with the cars, and we have the full self-driving beta baked into this vehicle, and whatever updates Tesla pushes in the meantime, we will also experience for the next 24 months. So that's exciting. And I think everyone here is excited to take a good look at one of these vehicles and experience it hands-on, because most of the time we have our cars for a week, and those are our impressions for, about a week. 2 years is a lot longer. So we can actually really put together some critiques, perhaps, and some really good words, whatever you want to say about it. So we're excited for it.
Absolutely. Get some real seat time in a Tesla, learn about the hype, learn perhaps what's not so good, but we'll see. I'm excited to just try the supercharger network too, which should deliver like a best in class experience when it's time to fill that battery up again. But yeah, looking forward to that. Looking forward, of course, to the Cybertruck if and when that comes out, and the Roadster. Yeah,
totally. I'm excited to get in the Model Y because there's a Bolt EUV in the garage personally here at my household, and let's see what the charging experience is like in comparison to me going to an EVgo charger. General Motors gives us $500 in free charging is what they did for us. So there's the EVgo network around here, which is scarce, but there are quite a few Tesla superchargers. So I mean, I'm excited to get a real world experience, especially with another EV in the garage here, personally. But,
that's perfect.
So we'll wait and see.
Because like the supercharger network is kind of the killer app, because to go and charge another EV, you have to have like 9 different apps on your phone, because there's no standard. And then you can't just pay with your credit card. Oh, no. You've got to like put money on your account and then pay through that. And it's just ridiculous. So, it's Tesla. You just walk up, drive up, plug it in.
Yep. I 100% agree. EV charging between multiple different companies is the worst thing. And a lot of the EVgo stations around here, quite frankly, were broken a lot of times. And I'd have to call and have them reset it. And then sometimes I could get them to take my credit card over the phone. And that was only because the one by me never charged me. And then one day it started to charge me and I didn't have an account. I just plug it in and there it was good to go.
You've gamed the system.
So I guess I wasn't even trying. I just plugged it in and I was like, oh, it's charging. So then I, went and chilled out for a little bit while it was charging.
Yeah.
But it's supercharger. We've talked about this before. The supercharger network is killer. It's probably the best thing Tesla has done in my opinion.
Yeah. But other than the Model Y arrival, what else is worth checking out on the roadshow.com this week, Sean? Any other headlining stories that we didn't cover in the show proper that people should be on out for?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We mentioned very briefly in this broadcast, GM and Subaru is shutting down production in Japan, and so is General Motors throughout September. They're going to be idling some plants. Like I said, we have our long-term arrival story for our Model Y. Craig just also reviewed a Hyundai Elantra hybrid. If you're shopping for efficient small car, Craig really liked that one. So that is live at the roadshow.com, plus so much more that happened this week. And yeah, you'll find it all at theroadshow.com. If you haven't seen any of our news hits that we're doing, we had quite a few go live this week. Lotus is building 2 electric SUVs. Old Bolt EVs might get more range with this crazy recall that GM is doing. So yeah, there's a ton to check out on Roadshow News, the YouTube channel, and theroadshow.com.
Wonderful. And with that, I think we can wrap this show up. Sean, thank you so much for your help, my friend.
Yeah, you know it. Anytime, always here every Friday, except next Friday. I will not be here.
So then you're lying to me. You're not every Friday. Because you're taking some PTO, right? You're going to be out of town. You're going to be somewhere.
Bopping around.
Riding off into the sunset.
Out of here.
Not here,
riding
not working. Making our lives more difficult. Now we have to fill in and help with the news. You're doing that just to hurt us.
I do it just to make everyone miserable.
Well, you're succeeding. Anyway, thank you, Sean. And thank you, Evan Miller, our video producer, the man behind the scenes that makes this broadcast possible. He does all the graphics and the video and connects the tubes and the pipes of the internet so that you can watch the show live.
Except Craig's
YouTube.
tubes, apparently.
Craig's tubes took a dump. Got to call Roto-Rooter, get that cleaned out. But yes, thank you, Evan, and thank you all for watching Roadshow News Recap. We dissect and discuss the biggest automotive stories of the past week with a little bit of techno music in the background there. I think somebody's phone is ringing. You can join us for the live broadcast every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern right here on the Roadshow News YouTube channel and, of course, on Facebook. With that, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.